All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. Glad you jumped in with us. Really excited to share this information with you. You may have seen me somewhere online, Facebook, YouTube, maybe even in person at an event, or maybe we've worked together one way or another before. But you've probably, if you're familiar with me at all, seen some concept around the way that we work uniquely with real estate clients. And we just believe from the very core of our being that we've got to be better than the typical agent. We've got to be on par at least with the traditional CPA or attorney or doctor. So we're going to get into some exciting stuff on how we do that. These are the 7 steps, a proprietary, unique system that I've built over the years. Certainly we've learned from other people and borrowed and built this. But over the years, I've built this system, and we call it our 7 steps to higher commissions, more listings, and higher sales prices for your sellers. I want to add a little note there, higher fees for yourself as well. So we're going to add today sort of how to implement that with your team, whether you're an individual agent, team leader, broker, owner, whatever. We're going to get into the details of how we get this done. So let's jump right in here, and we'll start with kind of what we're going to discover today. We're going to learn how you can actually earn higher commissions, higher than whatever's normal in your market or higher than whatever you're earning now. How to get more listings. If you use this system and you actually put in the work, you can definitely get a listing each week or more if you really want to. And absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, how to get higher sales prices as well as how to sell homes faster than is average in your market. When we deliver this in our market, we call it our over-under guarantee, where we guarantee to sell homes over the average price and under the average time. We're just going to show you exactly how we do that. So this is definitely for you. This information will benefit you. You'll enjoy it if you're building a real estate business. Now, I don't mean brokerage or team. If you have a license and you want to work full-time and you want to build a business, a career, an income, then this is definitely for you. If you're frustrated with the lack of control you have in your business, if you're frustrated with the fact that when you get a client, it consumes your life, or maybe you've got plenty of clients, but you don't have very much personal life. You don't have much time with the family, the kids, time for dating, time for vacations, because the business owns you and you're lacking control. This is definitely going to be for you too. Now, if you have a good pipeline like we just talked about, it's not quite full enough, but you're not starving to death and you're looking to grow and maintain control as you grow, this is absolutely for you as well. We're going to get into how you can do those things. So just kind of imagine this scenario where you wave a magic wand, you get to rub the genie and rub the lamp, rub the lamp, and the genie comes out and gives you your wish, and you get to build this business where opportunity, leads, potential is no longer your problem, right? Chasing business constantly, begging for business with your hand out, asking people if they can please introduce you to someone. That's no longer the norm for you. You've waved the magic wand, you've got that dream business, really investing the extra cash flow into your business, reinvesting in your business and making wise choices around that. Now that is your focus, right? So you've waved the magic wand. You get to work whenever you want to, right? Just picture that in your mind, kind of future pace that out down the road and begin to think about what life, what business might look like if that were your reality, because it can be your reality. Now, why would you ever listen to me? Maybe you know me, maybe we've talked, maybe you've been to a training I've done before, maybe you have no clue who I am whatsoever. The reason you listen to me is because I've probably been where you are. Are you currently working way too hard for way too little? Are you chasing down leads, grinding out open houses? Are you sitting at your house or your apartment on the internet all day willing to work but not sure what to do? Are you working with less than ideal clients and prospects all the time, and you're seeing these people who you don't really even like that much, way more than you're seeing your family and your friends that you love? Is that your situation? Because if it is, I've been there. I've definitely been there. Are you struggling to decide who do you trust? Who do I follow? Who do I copy? Who do I mimic? Who do I model after? Whose stuff do I use? Whose free stuff do I use? Whose stuff should I buy? Are you struggling with what to implement, what to say, and what not to say? I have absolutely been there. I remember literally a morning at my apartment right after I got married. My wife is leaving the apartment to go to her Big Four accounting job. She's a CPA. And I'm sitting in the apartment. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm Like I'm a normal realtor. I have no leads, no business. I don't know what to do. I'm not making enough money. I've been there. If you're in any of those situations, trust me, I have been there. Now, what I did though, was I built a system that worked for me, and then it began to work for other people too. And so here's a consulting client of ours named John DeHart. He lives in Virginia near the Washington, D.C. area. And he said he doubled his fees and signed a $2 million listing in the first week after implementing some of what we're about to talk about. He literally said, I had my best year ever in 2017, but I was exhausted and never saw my wife. Then we had a baby and I knew I needed my life back. So after just the first call in Todd's group, he's talking about a group coaching that we have. I implemented one piece of the system and got a $2 million listing at double the commission that he normally charges. You're nuts if you don't listen to Todd. So I appreciate John's recommendation. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that, but what we're about to talk about works. And it's important to me that you know it works. So you spend some time with us and you'll implement this in your life. Now, my story and why it matters to you, right? So as I was going through college, I went to Baylor University in Waco. I thought I was going to be a youth pastor or a young life leader, which is kind of a non-denominational outreach ministry to high school kids. That's where I thought my future was going. I was in graduate school seminary to study ministry, to go into that business. I was young, I was aggressive, I was ambitious, and I was willing to work. As we got married and I started leaning towards ministry as a volunteer and not for a career, real estate became the area of focus. I was young, I was aggressive, I was willing to work, but I was also totally clueless. I was completely broke. I was in debt. And honestly, I was really embarrassed and angry because it just wasn't working. Now, privately, even bigger was my total absolute fear of repeating my dad's entrepreneurial failures and the drama that brought into our family as I grew up. So I absolutely knew that something had to change. There had to be a better way, right? I literally remember sitting in the hospital delivery room as my wife was getting the epidural. She was literally in the process of having our first baby in labor. And I'm sitting on my junky little mini HP laptop, hammering out a contract on a deal that wasn't any good anyway. Low price, garbage, not a horrible person, but just not a high quality client. And I remember just being so frustrated thinking, I cannot believe I'm doing this. And I, at that exact time, got a call from a salesperson from a coaching organization that I wanted to hire, but I was afraid to hire them because I didn't have the money. I felt like I didn't have the pipeline coming that would give me the money to do that. And so I ignored this phone call while working this junky deal while in the hospital as my wife is about to have a baby. And I just knew, like, this sucks. I cannot keep doing this. And you may be there. You may have been there. And I want to talk to you about the breakthrough. And then I promise we're going to dive into exactly what these 7 steps are, right? I did hire that coach. And I began to implement. Now, I did it before I knew that I could fully afford it and it was super warm and fuzzy comfortable. I did it as soon as I felt like, all right, I can spend the money at this moment and I hope it works so I can spend money later. And it was one of the best things I ever did. I started implementing and then I got creative. And this is when I began to finally build what I wanted, the unique things that I wanted, the ways that fit my personality and allowed me to be compensated the way I wanted to. And that's when things got really exciting. We began to pay off debt. We ended up getting out of over $200,000 in debt, student loans, credit cards, cars, all of the above, until we could be 100% debt free, except our house. We're about to be debt free of that as well. My wife was able to quit her job at the accounting firm and stay home with now we have 3 kiddos. And we were able to move to what we consider our dream property on a couple acres, and put in basketball courts and ponds. And we just had an amazing client party this weekend. Actually, we just got the video back. And we love living where we live so we can invite people in and host. Really, our lives have completely turned around since I was able to put this program together and begin to implement it in our business. And again, we have shared it with others before, and it's worked for them. Brett Baker, another one of our group coaching members who's become a good friend, and we've done some consulting and some masterminding together, says we've increased our profitability by over 100%. Now, listen, that's not BS. I know Brett. This is true. He's more than doubled his profitability. He says, I made a name for myself as a marketer who happens to sell real estate. We sell hundreds of homes each year for millions of dollars in commissions. But it wasn't until I joined Todd Tramonte's coaching group and I learned how to value our services and to communicate that value that we increased our profitability by over 100%. Yes, we more than doubled our net profit from this one idea. I also love the way Todd focuses on relationships and building a business based on the lifetime value of clients and team members. And that's Brett in Washington. Just think about it. The dude's generating millions of dollars in commissions and he doubled it. Whatever you're doing, let's do that for you. Let's double it or better. Now, why am I teaching this, right? I'm not just, volunteering to save the world. Why am I doing this? Number one, real estate agents are generally pretty horrible at what we do. As an industry, as a general umbrella, people put real estate agents just barely above used car salesmen. They believe that most of us are part-time, that most of us don't care, that most of us just care about commissions, that we're overpaid, that we under-deliver. And by the way, even the good ones in our industry are right now currently being attacked by just about every direction. There's technological innovation, there's industry innovation, there's price pressure, there is disruptive innovation from unique business models, discounters, and all sorts of things. Now, I do have a vision for the future of our industry. It's the direction I'm moving my team, my brokerage, our consulting company, even what I'm talking about on my radio show. And I want to share that with you because I really, truly believe that it is the model for those of us that are doing this to survive all of that disruption, all of that innovation. I believe it's what will keep some of us in this business. And by the way, I believe that God gives each of us unique abilities and gifts and skills. And one of mine is teaching. And I really love to do it. And I love to see other people use it. And I love to see it work for them. So that's why I'm teaching this. Now, what are you going to discover? Now, let's just get into it. I'm going to start moving really quickly. If you have a question, drop it in the question box. If you have something you need to send us and let us know in the chat box if you're having any sort of problem. So you're going to discover how you can get a listing each week or more if you want to, or less if you don't want that many, by positioning yourself, your team, and your company completely differently than anybody else in your market. How to be paid what you're really worth. Now, by the way, not everybody is worth more. You need to be compensated based on the value you deliver, and we'll get into that. But most of the time, if you'll do these things, you'll be worth a lot more than other agents in your market, and you can get paid that. How to think entirely differently about just about everything in real estate. Change your thinking, change your action, change your success level. So there's 7 steps to this process. I'm going to share all of them with you. Now, we've got limited time here, so obviously I'm not going to get into every single detail of everything, but I'm going to give you as much as I can. If I go too fast, let us know in the chat box. So the 7 steps are pre-inspection, home staging, photography, marketing, that's a huge one, creating scarcity, urgency, and negotiation. And we're going to talk about all these things differently than you've probably talked about them before. I'm going to primarily focus on these 3 main stages of the process. Stage 1 is the positioning stage or the positioning phase, right? This is when we're getting the property ready for market. Nobody knows we're doing this. Buyers in the marketplace have no idea what's going on. They don't know any of this is happening. Now, pre-inspection is that step 1, right? Pre-inspection is going to allow us to save the client money by controlling the information and eliminating the negatives before a buyer ever knows. Now, without going to every nuance of this detail, the biggest thing we do here is we take the scariest document in the entire process of a buyer buying a home, right? They get the inspection report. It scares the heck out of them. We're going to do an inspection up front, and then we're going to tweak and improve the things that we need to. We're going to clean up that inspection report. So now it looks like a huge positive instead of a horrifying negative. We're going to provide warranties and notes and updates to it. And we're going to control the delivery of that information. Instead of a buyer getting that from their agent or their inspector and freaking out, especially if their agent's not very good, which again, we've already established, that's the norm. They're going to get this from an agent that's not very equipped, not very educated, not full-time, not committed, selfish commission hunter. Or at best, they're going to get an agent from that's, hardcore looking out for their interests. So we want to control that information. And we do that by doing it up front, delivering it in a way that's calm, where we can lead that process, and where, again, we've updated that report in a way that it's now really, really attractive. If you have questions about that, shoot them over in the group. And Ian's on here to help me make sure I see those things. Number 2 is staging. Now, don't jump off of this webcast at all, because most people assume they know what staging is. I'm going to show you some feedback from some people that have done this for years and then did it our way and saw huge results. Now, the goal of staging is to create a feeding frenzy by making every home show like a model home. Now, think about when you visit a builder's model home, right? You walk in and you go, man, smells good, looks good, feels good. I want the furniture. I even want the fake fruit. I want the appliances in here. I want to live here. That's how we want to make people feel when they visit our clients' homes. I call it creating the cupcake factor, and we can talk more about that later, but basically it's like a kid's birthday party where a little kid sees a cupcake and they want it so bad they lick it so no one else will touch it. We want people to come into this house and stomp their feet and wring their hands and say, I want this house and I don't want anyone else to be able to have it. And that comes from staging, not interior design. Interior design is designed to make a home look as beautiful as it can while people live in it. Staging is created to have buyers want to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars for the home after only spending 10 or 12 or 15 minutes in the home. They're not going to sit down and watch TV or sleep in the bed or make breakfast in the kitchen. So staging is designed to speak to the trends and the activities that buyers tend to take while they're in a home, not the kinds of things that owners tend to do while they're in a home. I'm noticing a bunch of people are just joining us. So if you are, just know, feel free to use the Q&A box or the chat box. And let me know where you're from over in the chat box. That'll be helpful for me to take good care of you. So the third thing in that positioning phase is photography. I'm sure most of you feel really confident that you know what photography is, but we do this at a very, very different level. I believe that photography is the single best technology we have in the whole process. And it's there to differentiate each property with absolute excellence by maximizing that first showing. And the first showing is always online. So I always tell people, look, you've lost 80% of your negotiating power before you even have an offer, right? So once you get an offer, that buyer has already done 10, 12, 15, 20 different things that will help them create their opinion of the value of this property. And you never knew they were doing it. They were looking at it online. They were driving by. They were talking to their agent. They were talking to their lender. They were going to see it. They were coming to see it again. They were taking measurements, and then they sent you an offer. So by the time they've sent you the offer, they've already done 80 or 90% of what they're going to do to decide what this house is worth. So if you then at the very last minute, after you get an offer, start going back and forth on price, there's just not much left for you to do to change their opinion. And that is why this positioning phase is so important. So those are 3 of the 7 steps. Now I'm going to give you even more than the 7 steps today, but they all belong in this first phase that we call the positioning phase. So if you have a question, drop it in the question and answer box. If you have something you need to let us know, shoot it over in the chat. If you're on your cell phone, by the way, just tap the screen and all those options will be at the bottom, the chat and the Q&A. If you're on your computer, desktop, or laptop, they should be, if you just mouse over the top or the bottom, and you should have those options. So this is, again, one of our coaching clients been around for a long, long time. Carrie Cross, she's in Northern California, sells some high-end stuff, and she says, I put Todd Tramonte's, just the pre-inspection part, by the way, just one of the 7 steps. She put the pre-inspection system into place, and in less than a week, she says it's doubled her listing business and increased the price of the offer she's getting by at least 5%. And from my discussions with her, it's more than 5%. And at her price point, that is a lot of money. So very, very cool to see that working for her. Here's a little note about staging. Again, Hal Cohn is a guy that I've done some consulting with. He says, I only thought I knew about staging. And again, this speaks to the point that staging is not a new idea for just about anybody that's on this webinar right now or that's watching this. He says, I thought I was sort of a guru on staging because we've used stagers and have gotten some listings because of it. Then when I heard Todd teach his system, it changed everything I thought I knew. I followed his exact instructions, and we've tripled our results in under 6 months. Now, Hal's in the Virginia area. So all over the country, from California to Virginia and in between, people are using this exact system and getting really, really great results. Now, this is a buyer that our team helped a year or 2 ago. He said, I had no idea how different real estate photography is from portrait or event photography. He could put this better than I could have put it. He said, I made a fool of myself insisting that my friend, he had a friend that was like an event photographer, wedding photographer. I made a fool of myself insisting that my friend shoot the house, and Todd's team insisted that their recommended photographer come out as well. So we let him have his friend take the pictures, but we had our photographer come out as well. I was humbled, to say the least. The results spoke for themselves. 13 offers and $36K over what my last agent couldn't even get an offer for. And the point is, we used our photos because his friend, although very skilled at what they do, was not a property photographer, a residential real estate photographer. Just 2 seconds on that. Houses and condos and townhomes have too many different materials and things and reflections in them. Most event or portrait photographers are not equipped to handle the light and the reflection and the differences in space from room to room. A half bathroom versus an open living room is a complete nightmare if you're not fully prepared to do that well. And this is one of the most important things we do. So far, you should have discovered how pre-inspections can save you money, control the information, drive up buyer confidence, and it can boost your income by doing them and having your sellers do them. Now, we've also talked about how staging is not interior design. It's totally different. It will lower your days on market, increase your sales prices, give your clients a big quick win. Right after they hire you, they see your staging process and they're really blown away and impressed, and it reinforces the wisdom of their decision to hire you. So that's huge. And how you can get 3 to 5 times your ROI on providing that for your client. Remember before we talked about, once you implement this and your business grows, one of your problems, and I'm not trying to be a punk about this and be, smart mouth, but literally one of your problems becomes, how do I reinvest money into my business? It's no longer a problem to say, how do I get leads or how do I get listings? And those things are not forever easy, but they're simpler with a process like this. But okay, now I've got some profit to spare. How do I reinvest the best way possible to minimize my physical labor and maximize my return? And this is one of the best ways to invest, is to provide things like staging and photography and pre-inspections, because you can get a multiple of that back with higher sales prices and higher commissions. So you're making more money multiple ways. Now, we've also learned how photography is the single most important technology that we have in this whole business. And I'll argue with you over your CRM, your database, your retargeting, your pixels, your ads, your APIs, or any other piece of technology you want to talk about. Photography is still the best thing we've got to sell homes and make money. Now, the second phase of this whole thing, the next 3 secrets, the second phase is what we call the exposure phase, right? Marketing is probably the most obvious piece of this, but I hopefully I'm going to really, really get you excited when we get into scarcity and urgency. And this is just basically trying to get the maximum amount of eyeballs we possibly can on the property, online and in person, right? Leave no stone unturned. We want to get offers and competition to the doorstep, physically and metaphorically, of our sellers, all right? Now, we want to market every single property 3 different ways, right? We want to market to everyone broadly, shotgun style marketing. We want to market it to everyone by piling up individual laser focused niches, people who love kitchens, people who love outdoor living space, people who love media rooms, people who love 2 stories, people who love mature trees. Each of those individually targeted, plus blanketing everyone we can. And then number 3 is what we call preemptive marketing. It's a much more sophisticated and effective way of what a lot of people call coming soon marketing. And, without enough time to go into all of those things in 100 million different angles of detail, if you've got specific questions, drop them in the question and answer box or shoot us something in the chat and we'll get into it. But as an overview, you want to market every single property 3 ways. Then we want to create atypical scarcity in our market, right? So whatever market you're in, whether it's Detroit or Dallas, and then whatever market you're in, meaning buyer's market, seller's market, stable market, transitional market, whichever market you're in geographically and whichever market you're in cyclically, both of those markets are going to offer a certain amount of scarcity, meaning a certain amount of supply versus demand. Either properties are really, really scarce, which means there's a low supply, there's not many houses on the market, or properties are not scarce at all, meaning there's a high supply, lots of houses on the market. We want to create atypical scarcity, unusual scarcity, what you might even call artificial scarcity. Now, I don't mean artificial as in dishonest or misleading. I mean, we're going to create scarcity that the market itself is not offering us. Here's a quick example. Let's say you're selling a home in, I don't care, pick a city, Omaha, Nebraska, and you're in a neighborhood where there's 4 homes for sale, but the home you're selling has 8 productive fruit trees in the backyard, right? Otherwise, the houses are basically all the same. Cookie cutter neighborhood, Omaha, Nebraska, middle America. It's all pretty much the same. They would generally be worth the same. Buyers would generally be interested in them just about the same. Lot location, size, features, amenities, all those things. Now, what we would do in order to create abnormal, atypical, artificial scarcity is we would talk about how we create a market of one, how we make this property the only property like that. Meaning, if you don't get this one, Mr. Buyer, you won't get one because there is no other one to choose from. So we would hyper focus on the benefits and the features of the home and then those productive fruit trees. And we would say, look, the only place in, Deer Park in Omaha that you can get 8 productive fruit trees with a 4-bedroom home all under $300,000 or whatever the math was. But we would create that as a truly unique factor that a buyer would race to because now there's only one of those. Even though there's, whatever I said, 4 or 5 other ones in the neighborhood that are otherwise the same, we want to build up that scarcity in the mind of the buyer. And that's our job in the exposure phase. We owe it to our sellers to be world-class at this. So that's how we would treat scarcity. And then urgency is similar, but different. We want to create speed to the property, speed to offers, speed to execution or ratification or whatever you call it in your area. And then, of course, speed to closing and funding. We want quick offers. We want a lot of interest. One of the ways, we do it a lot of ways. One of the ways we do this is by offering an incentive to the buyer or the buyer's agent. Sometimes we offer a cruise. Sometimes we'll offer other non-financial incentives. A lot of people you'll see offer a BTSA or a bonus to selling agent, $1,000 at closing if offer accepted by this date. Those are very conditional and they have to be split with the broker. So we do it in a way where agents or buyers get really excited. They hurry up. It creates more competition. One last note on this exposure phase. Marketing, scarcity, and urgency work together, and they work perfectly well together with pre-inspection, staging, and photography. We're going to get to number 7 here in a second, and all 7 of these things work together like a tapestry. You don't want to take one piece out. Now, you've seen some testimonials from clients in the past that have, coaching clients or consulting clients that have bought and used this system or just copied it from me. And they've used one aspect of it and still totally changed their business. But what really made the big breakthrough and launched our business is when we started using all of these things together. And you don't take a piece out, you use them together like a woven tapestry, and it's really amazing. So as we bring all this together, it works together, like we said, like a tapestry. And everything feeds itself. As we identify the most unique point of scarcity that allows us to create that market of one, it informs how we stage the house, how we photograph the house, how we communicate our marketing. So it's not the 5th thing we do. It's one of 7 things we do. And we do all of them and they work really, really well together. Now, listen, you might be terrified right now because discount brokers are taking all the business in your market. You might be terrified that you're going to have to go back to your old job because you don't have enough listings or whatever. This is a system that can protect you from that. This is a system that will have other agents in your area terrified of you. One of my favorite things in this whole process is the negotiation phase. Now, we just simply define negotiation differently than, in my opinion, everyone else in the business. Most people define negotiation as filling out the blanks in the contract, figuring out price, closing date, who's paying fees. And by all means, that's a part of it, right? But you've got to treat your clients' money like it's your money, their time like it's your time, their energy, their focus, the drama, the resources that are required to sell a home like it's your time, energy, and resources, right? Every single penny counts. Now, we define negotiation as anything that I do, my team does, any of our vendor partners, anyone involved in the transaction does that will impact somebody's time, energy, money, outcome. And we understand that every single thing we do is negotiation. From the very first conversation we have, the way we answer the phone, the way we deliver information, the way we take photos, the way we shoot videos, the way we communicate online, offline, the way we delivered requested information, the way we say yes, the way we say no, the way the receptionist in the office answers the phone is absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical. And it's negotiation because it will add or take away leverage from our client. It will get them more money, less money. It will get them more time, less time, more drama, less drama, more inspection request or less inspection request. Now I know I'm going fast. I'm trying to get you as much as I can without going way, 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 way over the ideal time limit and the amount of time you're sharing with us today. The final piece in that phase really is execution. And it's just knowing that to do all of this at an unbelievably high level, you can't do it alone. Now, you don't have to have a huge team. You can have mortgage partners, title partners, an assistant, a neighbor, a wife, a spouse, intern or whatever. But it does take more than one person's expertise to deliver this at a world-class level. Now, I hope you get this one thing from everything I'm trying to share with you. If you build your own proprietary marketing system, and you can do it creatively or you can copy mine, you too can sell homes for thousands of dollars more than competing agents in your market. You can also do it much, much faster. You can leverage your system so that other team members can work your system and you can get your life back. You can increase your fees if it's appropriate, if you're driving a lot of value to your client, and therefore drive up your profit so that you don't have to chase every deal. You can say no to people that are annoying, that are too far away, whose properties aren't going to sell. You can spend more time with your family and your friends and your loved ones. You can finally own a business instead of your business owning you. And you can prove all the doubters and all the haters and all the naysayers and all the competition wrong. And trust me, that's a lot of fun. So how do I make this happen? You got a couple of choices here, right? So you can kind of figure this out over the long haul by trial and error. And by all means, it can be done. It took me over a decade to do that. Or you can sort of copy me. You can do exactly what I do. You can get my exact system right now. So I want to tell you about a product we have called 7 Steps to Higher Commissions, More Listings, and Higher Sales Prices for Your Sellers. It's basically what we've been talking about this whole time. Now, this is not for you if you are not ready to actually work. It's also not ready for you it's not for you if you're not willing to follow some pretty simple instructions. Now, it's not for you if you don't need any more clients, if you're rocking and rolling, you're uber profitable, you don't want to increase your profitability. It's not for you if you already have plenty of time with your family and you don't need any more control over your business. But if you do want more control over your business, stay tuned. It's definitely not for you, and I want to slow down and be careful about this. This is not for you if the investment in this program is going to literally take food off of your table. If you don't have the money for it, if it would be a horrible financial decision for you and your family, then please don't. Take the information you got already, copy it, tweak it, make it your own, and build your business that way. But this is absolutely for you if you want to build a business. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 7 detailed online training modules. Everything that I flew through today, I tried to give you as much as I can, but everything that I flew to today, each one has hours and hours and hours of content. There's a summary video for each of the 7 steps. There are scripts, exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it, the language patterns, how to destroy your competition, even before you know who they are. We call that preemptive negotiation, by the way. How to dominate discount brokers. I used to be one. Trust me, we know how to do this. How to wipe the floor with all the unprofessional gold rush agents who just rush in when the market's hot. Samples of copywriting, certain ways to type things, say things, post things. And then we have expert interviews and much, much more in each and every module. These are the 7 modules: pre-inspection, staging, photography, marketing, scarcity, urgency, negotiation. I got a couple of bonus options for you as well. Here's just kind of a quick screenshot of the inside of the program. You can see the summary video and all the different modules. In In every single module, you're going to get that summary video, the scripts, dialogues, expert interviews, downloadable resources. You can see right here some of the examples of some of the downloadable resources for just the negotiation one. There's more than I could fit on the screen there. You got the best you can do script, the Doyle Brunson script, the what else can you tell me script, the silence technique. That alone, these modules are worth well over $5,000. We have them on the website and sell them for way, 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 way more all the time. People have flown across the country and paid over $8,000 just to spend a day just to look at this stuff. Now, I've got a huge bonus for you, absolutely monster bonus right now. If you choose to do this today, I will give you 60 days in our group coaching program absolutely free. We have a weekly group call that I lead with agents all over the United States and Canada, as well as my team members. You get to look over my shoulder and see how I run my team, how I coach the agents, how we lead the brokerage. And every single one of those group calls, they're on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock Central. Every single one of those, I'll stay as long as there are questions. I'll answer every question you've got. We have a private Facebook group for every member of the group. Plus, you'll get access to some of the past calls from that group. And that just the 2 months there is worth way more than this, but $394 is kind of the current value there. Now, number 2 bonus. You may want this whole thing just for this. This is our home search or internet lead follow-up system that generates over $1 million in gross commission income for us every single year. It's the exact system. Who to call, what day to call them, how many times to call them, why you're calling them, how to set your follow-up, and sort of the strategy behind it. Now, this is worth at least $1,000, and I'll throw it in if you decide to do this today. So here's what that looks like right now. The 7 steps, all the modules and everything that goes in there is worth at least $5,000. You'll get the initial consultation video, which by the way, I've had people fly here and spend $7,000 or $8,000 a day just to see our listing presentation, what we call our initial consultation video. I'll give you the video of that. I'll include it. That's worth at least $3,000. Like I said, people have paid over $8,000 just to come see it. You'll get the 60-day free trial membership, which is worth, again, at least $394. You'll get 60 days. That's probably at least 8, maybe 9 weeks in the group calls. You can ask me questions about how to implement these things. You can talk to other group members. You can get in the private Facebook group and share videos and checklists and ask people. I was on there last night answering a question for one of our members in the Michigan area who's implementing some new stuff, really exciting. We'll give you that $1 million a year internet lead follow-up system, what we call home search leads. And I'll go ahead and throw in the scripts that we use in the follow-up system. We hadn't talked about that yet. The exact script that my team uses to follow up with our home search and internet leads. And then I'll also throw in our welcome box system. It's how to take people from like total stranger 0 to being family, to being a close friend in the family in one day, in one single day. We'll show you exactly how we do that, where to get the stuff, how to make it unique and personal to you, and how to get unbelievable social media posts and testimonials and gratitude from people. So if you add all this stuff up, it's over $10,890. I think it's $10,894. But obviously you're not going to have to pay that. I put a little cheesy red X on it. But right now, if you were to add this stuff up at what we are charging for this stuff on the website, it's $5,600 and I don't even know, $619, something like that. But you're not going to have to pay that. If you're ready to do this today, you can get everything we just talked about for only $997. This isn't one of those infomercial deals where I say, but wait, if you act today, I literally feel kind of stupid selling this for $997. But we really want to launch some new people into the group. We want to tell you about some even more exciting things that we're doing. But I love this program. I believe in this program. I'm sick of looking on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and seeing agents terrified of a shifting market, terrified of discount brokers, freaking out about Zillow and all the technology in the business. I want you to have this system that has allowed our company to grow in a horribly down market. I was building this system in the mid 2000s when the market was totally horrible. You can get this right now for $997 or 3 payments of $397. If you're interested, look over in the chat box. There's a link in there right now. But if you're one of the first 10 people to order right now. So go ahead and jump on the link right now. If you're one of the first 10 people, I will also throw in our massive mindset product. It's called Unleash Your Profits. It's a mindset training program with 6 hours of a really deep dive conversation that I had a few years back about how to approach the real estate business differently. There's also a condensed 73-minute quick start version. It's kind of like the greatest hits. We pulled what we believe to be the 5 major takeaways out of this program. And we created a cheat sheet, little worksheet exercise for you to do to help you get absolute clarity about what kind of business you're building, how you want to grow it, how you want to run it, what size, what structure, what meaning, what messaging, what you want to do uniquely, how you want to differentiate from the competition. It's the most comprehensive training on how to communicate about your business that exists in our industry. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee that. I will throw that in right now if you're one of the first 10 people. I have no idea how many people have purchased yet, but if you're one of the first 10, you will get that as soon as you purchase. That will be in the email that comes to you with everything that we're offering. Now, I have a guarantee. I promise I would never want to sell you something that you didn't love. So this is my no risk, better than 100% money back guarantee. Now, you have a full year, 12 months to test this out. I don't know a single coach, consultant, strategist, guru, or whatever the heck you want to call them that offers anything like this in real estate. As a matter of fact, I hear constant complaints in our industry of people that sold a garbage product or a terrible class and then refuse to refund people's money. I'll never do that. After 12 months, if you're not earning more money and building a better business, just call our office. First of all, you have to prove to me that you actually implemented it. If you're lazy and you're not going to do anything, don't buy this. And definitely don't ask for a refund. But if you tried and you implemented, and for any reason after a full year, it hasn't benefited you in your business, I'll refund every single penny you paid, plus I'll send you a crisp $100 bill. That is better than no risk. That's the best guarantee I could think of. So, plus I think the Zimmer quote from the Men's Warehouse guy is really funny. I guarantee it. So this is a really, really ugly slide. I hate making presentations, but this is what it is because I couldn't fit all the stuff I'm giving you on there. By the way, I'll also throw in 5 copies of my new book that's not quite out yet. But if you purchase this right now, we'll give you the 7-step system, the free 60-day trial, the Unleash Your Profits Mindset program, access to the private Facebook group, a couple of copies of my book, and on and on and on. So jump in the chat box right now and click that link, and you can get this bad boy for not $11,964 because we added those other bonuses, plus 5 copies of the book. Not even $59.97, which is what people would pay if they went to the website right now to do all this, but only $997 or 3 payments of $397 over the next 3 months, and you'll save $5,000. Now, here's everything you get. I think you're crazy. If you're still on this thing and this sounds interesting, you're crazy not to take me up on this for $997. So remember, you will finally be able to start earning what you're actually worth. You might not have to sell as many houses next year, and you might be able to make even more money or the same money and a lot more time off. You'll sell homes faster. You'll sell homes for way more money. Right now, we average about 8% more than other agents in our market. That's a lot of money for most houses, 20, 30, 40,000 for most of our clients. And you'll finally be in control of your business, your time, and your life. So many people want a real estate business, but the business owns them. They can't put the phone down. They have to answer. They have to chase the commission. They have to do the showing. They have to run to the closing. Let me show you how I've gotten myself out of that type of business and how you can get yourself out of that type of business. So this is everything you get. Click the buy now link. Click the link that's in the chat box right now. Buy this bad boy and talk to me on our next group call. By the way, we have a group call later today. If you buy this now, we will do everything we possibly can to get you on the group call today, which is in just over 1 hour, 2 o'clock Central Time. So buy this right now. If I don't know that we're going to do any recordings, but if for some reason you're listening to this on a recording, The group calls are 2 o'clock Central on Wednesdays. But for you that are on here live right now, jump over there. I don't know if you still have a chance to be one of the first 10 or not. If you do, great news for you, because you'll get the whole mindset product as a bonus. Plus you'll get 5 copies of my book as soon as it is published, which is probably in the next 3 weeks. If you have questions, drop them in the Q&A box right now. I'd be happy to answer them. If you have anything else to add, throw it in the chat box. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up very soon. But if you click that link, you're going to get the 7 steps to higher commissions, more listings, higher sales prices for your sellers, and by the way, more income and profitability for you. That includes the initial consultation, or what everybody else calls listing presentation videos, and the bonus 60-day free trial in our members-only group coaching with me and the private Facebook group. Our $1 million per year internet lead follow-up system, or what we call our home search lead follow-up system, our 0 to family in 1 day welcome box system. And if you're one of the first 10, you'll get the Unleash Your Profits mindset system with all the audios, all the worksheets and everything, plus 5 copies of my upcoming book that will be out in the next few weeks. So click the link in the chat box. Join us, join the group, 60 days in the group, get into the modules, join us in our mission to save our industry from disruption, to build businesses that we can be proud of, that can leave a legacy for our families, and we will have a blast getting to know you better. So that's it. Click the link, jump in with us, and we will build businesses together. I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.